Hello and welcome to my most likely last video in my recent Blitz video series, which was a lot of videos, basically 3 main videos and a lot of offsets, and this is the last video. Due to the fact that my full Blitz run video was very long, this is a summary video, so I will be quickly discussing everything that I discussed, more or less, in the long video. So as always, this will be basically going through my entire Blitz run without individual team selecting, so it goes a lot faster. I always start my Blitz runs by looking at Blitz predictions, which I get on Casino's Discord. This is what the Blitz run predictions looked like for the Kingpin Blitz that just finished. I will now show you how I go up the tiers, what teams I use, and when I use them. Alright. From here, I start from the bottom of my roster and make coherent teams. I actually just got Pyro from some Power Cores buildup, purchasing some of those orbs, and I got a really lucky drop. So I now actually have a roster divisible by 5. So I need to actually make new teams, but just to make it easier, I'm just going to pick 5 random people, because it doesn't matter this much. So I would use this team on this first tier multiplier, which is very easy, so it really doesn't matter, and I would be able to beat anybody. From here, I would move on to my second team, which is going to look pretty nice actually right about now, because of the characters. I got Ravager Bruiser, I got Pyro, I got Mystique, I got Aim Infector, and Iron Man. This is actually a beautiful looking team, minus the Aim Infector and Ravager Bruiser, but I really intend to build some of these characters up and make some good use of them, so this will easily win here. Only reason that I'm using it already is because none of these characters are remotely built up. Anyways, so this will get me to the second spot of tier 1. I then move on to my next team, which is going to be a bit more chaotic. It's going to be Aim Monstrosity, Groot, Ronin, Aim Researcher, and Hydra Grenadier. These teams I don't really need to discuss much because they are facing very, very low powered opponents. It doesn't really matter, even though this team is quite bad. Aim Researcher and Hydra Grenadier actually carry most of the weight because they're, I guess, a bit faster and they do decent enough damage because they're higher powered. From here, it should be, that's 3 battles, which is actually changing up my whole timing of Blitz, but I will figure it out on the run for you guys. I would run a mixed team, which are going to be Hydra Scientist, Ravager Stitcher. It's basically a bunch of leftovers. And Ravager Boomer, Wasp, and Korath. This team will get, when I win with this team, again, you don't really need much strategy because look at that power difference. When I win with this team, I move up to tier 2, which is great because the multipliers start going up, and the more that happens, the better. From here, I pick my Kree team. Kree Noble, Kree Reaper, Kree Cyborg, Kree Oracle, Kree Royal Guard. This will be the first one that actually matters, but it still should be quite easy. So this team is pretty steady. Just use all the abilities as fast as you can, do as much damage as possible, and take people out. I then will evolve onto the next team, which from here it should be a few minion teams in a row. So I will then go Hand, which is Hand Sorceress, Hand Assassin, Hand Blade Master, Hand Sentry, and Hand Archer. I pick this team and I go here, and this will be the second battle of tier 2. Again, not much strategy involved. I will then move on to my Mercenary team, which is one of my better teams, especially if I got them similar power level. Keep your minion teams as similar power levels, keep your Blitz teams in similar power levels, so they can fight higher tiers. This team is very far apart, so they're not as good as they should be. But anyways, this team I can use on tier 2, which will win me the 3rd battle without any issues. And my final battle from tier 2 will be my Shield Minions team, which I have saved. There is not much strategy here. The one thing to note is my security and medic are far higher than everyone else. Like, they're 8 and 9,000-ish, and everyone else is 1 to 2,000. So they do not play as well as they should. Once I level their powers out to even, this team is amazing. I then am on tier 3. So I make a bit of a mixed match team, which is the leftovers that I haven't used yet, which should be Venom, Nobu, Hulk, Nebula, and Juggernaut. Where's Juggernaut? There's my Juggernaut. And I run this team. Basically, all you need to know is first turn taunt with Juggernaut, second turn use his ultimate, and trying to hit the biggest group of people as possible. So go for adjacents, aim for the center of a group of 3 adjacents, and let his ultimate do some damage. It's not fully charged, but it does good damage even at this point. So Juggernaut is pretty good. Venom's special does pretty good damage. And just use this team like that. There's not too much thought. Use Nobu's summons wisely. Don't summon right before an AoE. So in this battle, do not summon first turn because Punisher will kill all the summons and they will have done nothing. Don't waste your turns. Then I move on to another mixed match team. I can speak English sometimes. Which will be Drax, Hydra Rifle Trooper, Cable, Storm, and Elektra. Basic strategy, taunt as much as possible with Drax, build up as many charges as possible, then unleash the ultimate, not the special, with Storm to do a bunch of damage, do as much AoE as possible with the Hydra Rifle Trooper and Cable, use his basic before you use his special, so it's charged and hits more targets. There's not much strategy to that. From here, I would move on to my Defenders team. My Defenders team, which is here, and I think everyone knows what the Defenders look like approximately, and they're a very good team. I don't use them as high because, well, I didn't build mine up, so even though they can win pretty high, they don't get me a lot of points, so I would use them here, and this, I believe, should move me up to tier 4. If my math is off, I'm sorry, but it's easily approximated to this. From the Defenders, I go to the Avengers, which I have a bit of a twist on. I have Captain America, Thor, Black Widow, Hawkeye, and Ant-Man. I use these as my Avengers, and I really like them. This should be the first battle of tier 4, but basically everything you want, there is 2 of. Both Black Widow and Ant-Man steal buffs, both Hawkeye and Captain America dispel, both Thor and Black Widow give stuns, Captain America gives ability energy, and Hawkeye blinds. It is a very successful team. There's also a slow in Ant-Man and a speed up in Black Widow, so you get a bit of that added benefit. This is a very effective team, and I would use that here, which would be, I believe, again, the first battle of tier 4. I moved up to tier 4, so now we'll be going to 4.2, and after the Avengers, let's see where I am. I would have already used these characters, so I would move on to one of my very best teams, but it's not much power. It is actually, I forgot I have saved squads, this team here. It is massive AoE damage, and it is honestly too strong for most teams it will ever face, even on tier 8. I only use it here right now when building up because, again, it is just too strong, or too low power. It doesn't get me as many points. What you do is, the only thing you need to know, use Kingpin's offense up first turn, use Spider-Man's defense down first turn, use Star-Lord's blind first turn, and then offense up AoE with Rocket, offense up explosion with Crossbones, and then you'll have an offense up, if needed, ultimate from both Spider-Man and Star-Lord. In other words, you easily clear out any team you face because they can't survive all that damage. From that team, I move on to my highest power team, just because it's not as good as some of the other teams. I play it here, and it's a bit of a mixed match team. Try and find a team that doesn't have a Thanos if you're facing Quake. Slow Quake with Quake, so that you can use your earthquake before the other quake does. And just remember, Winter Soldier hits really hard, so he can take out Crossbones in one punch sometimes, which is a beautiful sight. So that is putting me, let me see, so I did the Avengers, and I did that, then this, so that this was the third one, and then that gets me back onto my top teams here. I would go to my Miss Marvel Brawlers team, again, easily wins on tier 8. Oh, whoopsies. Where did Black Panther go? There's Black Panther. I accidentally clicked him and removed him. Basically, his team. Basically, this team just gets a lot of assists and does a lot of damage and wins on tier 8. There's some great interactions. These characters all work well together. I picked these 5 characters because they're all hero brawlers, and I picked the other hero brawlers other than Miss Marvel because they were best used here, and some other characters that work really well here were on other teams already. So this is why I picked this team. Then finally, while I am now on tier 5, I get to win a battle on tier 5, and I will use my Mystics team because it is my most successful team. It basically never loses. Mind you, my Miss Marvel team rarely loses, and my AoE team rarely loses. But this team is beautiful. There's got everything it could possibly use. Not really much to explain. Use Mordo's Blinds and extend it with Scarlet Witch if they are good. If not, next turn you can use Vision's Bleeds on his ultimate, then extend that. You also have Strange's Flips. You have Loki's Summons, which also provides survivability because they come with evade and stealth on everyone else, and also Loki's Mind Control is fun to use. So that puts you one battle into tier 5, then you take a break, or I take a break, and I go back to my save squad. Once the break is over, I use this team. I use it, the free battle, and then all the refreshes, which gets me on to tier 6 in a bit. Then I use this team. Why did I take Star-Lord out? Star-Lord is here. I use this team for the free battle and all the refreshes, which gets me a bit onto tier 7. Then I use this team for the free battle and all the refreshes. The 25 refreshes. I never use any 50 refreshes. And that'll get me actually onto tier 8. And I will finally end off with my Mystic team, which I'll do the... Why do I keep clicking off characters? Who did I have? Doctor Strange. Which, again, I'm on tier 8 here, and I will use this team for the free battle and the refreshes, and it will grow. And from here, basically, whenever the 2-hour allotment comes back up, redo these battles with these top teams, just one through, unless you want to refresh for more cores, but I don't feel that's necessary. And then whenever I get any Blitz orbs or Blitz credits, I spend it all on Blitz orbs because that is the best value. Another thing to note, I also, before I refresh all these teams, sometimes I'll do a battle with my Defenders or my Avengers because they will win, which will get me even further in the refreshing or the tier progression, but it's not necessary. But that is what gets me up to tier 8, and again, then I just build score from there. I did this my entire video on the Kingpin Blitz, and I will show you how I did there, just to show you guys. I got 1 million points, and I didn't really push that hard. I can get a lot higher, but I'm a very busy person, as I believe many of you are, so hopefully this quicker video was helpful. If you liked it, feel free to leave a like. I would really enjoy if you guys subscribed. Share the videos if you want. Leave any feedback, have any questions, let me know. Join my Discord, which I will leave the link in the description. Join Casino's Discord for the Blitz predictions. I will also leave that link in the description. Hopefully this was helpful. I am also making a playlist for all of these Blitz videos in case you want to see everything of the longer videos. They will all be there. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. And as always, I'm here to help.